Ships played a key role in shaping our world until airplanes and other modes of travel and transport took over in the mid-20th century. But so profound was the impact of the sailing era that to this day, whether we send things by truck, train or airplane, we say that we are shipping the items. Many words and phrases that we use today hark back to the golden age of sail. You might be taken aback or startled when you learn that certain phrases you use every day are connected to old sailing ships. Like taken aback. Ships were taken aback when their sails were blown back against the mast by the wind. By and large, we don't even realize we're using such terms. By and large, for example. By means into the wind and large means with the wind. So by and large means most or all situations. On the whole, above board means above the deck in plain view, not hiding anything. Pirate ships would hide their crew below decks to lull the ship they were about to attack into a false sense of security. As the crow flies means a straight line between 2 points which might cross land. It's the way crows travel rather than ships which have to go around the land. Sorry for barging in. This phrase comes from the awkward steering of river barges that often bang into boats and other objects. This phrase came into the English language in the early 1900s. Bombay Runner was the nickname for a large cockroach. Wonder why? A cabin is a room on a ship or in your office, unless you work for one of those terribly modern companies that have open offices. Sorry, can't give you an appointment today with chock-a-block. This phrase comes from rigging blocks on a ship that are so tight against one another that they cannot be further tightened. A clean bill of health is a certificate issued by a port indicating that there are no infectious diseases on board a ship. On board a ship, the watchkeeper would keep a record of things like distance and speed on a slate. At the beginning of a new watch, the slate would be wiped clean, and thus we get the phrase clean slate. The course is the direction in which a vessel is being steered, given in degrees. At college, on the other hand, we are given our degrees after we complete our courses. If the foot or lower edge of a sail is not secured properly, it's footloose or blowing around in the wind. Groggy means dazed, weak or unsteady from lack of sleep, tiredness, sickness or preferably being drunk. The word comes from Old Grog, nickname of Admiral Edward Vernon, who in the 18th century ordered diluted rum to be served to his sailors. The drink was named grog after him, and he earned the nickname because of his habit of wearing cloaks made of grogram, a type of coarse fabric. Don't you hate it when someone's leagues ahead of you? Well, at least that person probably doesn't know that a league means 3 nautical miles. But you do. Leeway refers to the amount of freedom you have to do something. In nautical terms, leeway is the sideways drift of a ship away from the wind. A loose cannon is a reckless person whose uncontrolled behavior endangers those around him. It comes from, well, a loose cannon on board a ship that could crush anything or anyone in its way and even sink the ship. We always ask for a landmark when we have to find a new place. Ships would look for distinct objects on shore to find their position, and these were called landmarks. Making money hand over fist means making a lot of money very quickly. It relates to climbing a rope hand over hand. Overwhelm meant to submerge completely in the mid-15th century. Think of a giant wave washing over your boat. Not a nice feeling, right? Well, life makes you feel that way sometimes, unfortunately. The owners of that company are such bad paymasters. Originally, the paymaster was the man on the ship who paid salaries. A square meal is a sufficient quantity of food. This phrase probably comes from the meals that were served to the crew on a square plate in harbour or at sea in good weather. These meals were usually quite substantial. Under the weather If you served a watch on the weather side of a ship, which is the side exposed to wind and spray, you usually didn't feel too well by the end of your shift. You felt under the weather. I'm the English Nut, and before I start feeling seasick, let me say bye for now.